Meghan. It won't go back before she got married, but the way she's treated the royal family, the way she's actually not allowed her children to meet their family, and you can go on and on for what she said, all the lies she said. So she's not someone who can complain about ethical behaviour. But if she hasn't had the children herself, or Harry hadn't been involved, then they can't be in the royal line. They have to have royal blood, those little ones. Without that, there's no chance of them becoming a member of the royal family.
From Prince Harry and Meghan Markle at all? About the lies that destroyed the final days of
The couple who screamed for privacy louder than anyone in modern royal history just got hit with a question they absolutely cannot escape. Are Archie and Lilibet legitimate heirs to the British throne? And before you dismiss this as tabloid nonsense, understand that this question is now being asked by someone whose credibility in royal circles is nearly untouchable. Angela Levin, a royal biographer who spent decades studying the monarchy up close, just dropped a bombshell so explosive it could shake the entire institution to its foundation. Angela Levin didn't hint around the issue. She didn't soften her words or hide behind careful phrasing. After years of observing Harry and Meghan's behavior, she said what millions had been thinking but were too afraid to voice out loud. She raised serious questions about whether Archie and Lilibet's parentage is as straightforward as the Sussex brand wants everyone to believe. And here's why this matters more than any celebrity gossip ever could. The British monarchy doesn't run on popularity or Netflix deals. It runs on bloodline, on an unbroken chain of legitimate succession that stretches back centuries. Without royal blood flowing through their veins, those children have no claim to titles, no place in the line of succession, no constitutional standing whatsoever. Levin's words weren't casual speculation. They were a direct challenge to the legitimacy of Harry and Meghan's entire narrative. She pointed to something that anyone paying attention had already noticed: the complete absence of traditional documentation, the missing hospital photos, the shattered royal protocols that every other royal mother had followed without question. When Kate had her children, the world saw her on the hospital steps hours after giving birth. When Diana brought William and Harry into the world, there were photos, there was documentation, there was transparency. But with Meghan, nothing but carefully staged moments, controlled images, and a wall of silence around anything that should be simple and straightforward. The questions aren't new, but Levin's willingness to voice them publicly changes everything. This isn't some random conspiracy theorist in a basement. This is a respected royal biographer with decades of experience calling out inconsistencies that deserve answers. She's asking why there were no clear hospital moments, why there's no solid documentation following centuries-old traditions, why every detail about these births feels managed, curated, and deliberately vague. And the response from Harry and Meghan: silence. The same couple who can't stop talking about their truth suddenly has nothing to say when it comes to the one detail that actually matters. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Reports suggest that surrogacy questions have now entered mainstream media coverage. This isn't fringe internet speculation anymore. Legitimate news outlets are starting to ask the same questions Levin raised. And each time Harry and Meghan refuse to address these concerns directly, the speculation grows louder and more persistent. They had opportunities to shut this down from the beginning. One simple statement, clear documentation, traditional transparency. But instead, they chose secrecy. And in the royal world, secrecy doesn't look like dignity. It looks like you're hiding something. The constitutional implications here are staggering when you really think about them. If there's any question about the legitimacy of these children's parentage, it doesn't just affect Harry and Meghan's reputation. It threatens the entire concept of royal succession. Monarchies survive on one fundamental principle: legitimate bloodline. That's how kings rise, queens rule, dynasties endure. Without absolute certainty about who has royal blood and who doesn't, the whole system becomes questionable. And a monarchy built on doubt cannot survive long-term scrutiny. Now watch how Harry and Meghan are responding to these allegations, because their reaction tells you everything you need to know. Harry's lawyers are firing off legal threats, sending cease and desist letters, promising lawsuits against anyone who dares question the official story. But here's the problem with that strategy. Those threats don't make him look protective or strong. They make him look defensive and scared. A father confident in the legitimacy of his children wouldn't need lawyers to prove it. He'd simply provide the documentation that ends all speculation immediately. The fact that Harry chooses legal intimidation over transparent proof suggests he's trying to shut down questions rather than answer them. Angela Levin pointed out something crucial that makes Harry's legal threats even more problematic. If this ever reaches a courtroom, the fallout could be absolutely devastating. Courts don't care about royal titles or celebrity status. They demand proof, hard evidence, medical records, birth certificates, and yes, DNA tests. For a couple obsessed with controlling their public image, the idea of a judge dragging their private truth into open court must be absolutely terrifying. And Levin didn't stop with just raising questions. She hinted she has more information, details sitting in reserve, ready to be revealed if Harry keeps pushing this toward legal confrontation. Meanwhile, Meghan's response is equally telling through her complete silence. She's not defending herself. She's not clarifying anything. She's just letting the questions multiply while maintaining that carefully controlled image she's perfected over years in Hollywood. But that silence doesn't read as graceful or dignified anymore. It looks calculated, strategic, like someone who knows that answering questions might expose things better left hidden. Every day she refuses to address these concerns directly, more people start wondering what she's actually protecting. The timing of all this couldn't be worse for their already crumbling credibility. Their wedding anniversary passed in complete silence. No royal family acknowledgement, no celebrity friends posting congratulations, not even a carefully staged Instagram moment from Meghan herself. The couple who once demanded constant attention suddenly found themselves completely ignored. And into that vacuum of relevance, Angela Levin stepped with allegations that cut deeper than any insult or criticism ever could. Because this isn't about their popularity or likability. This is about fundamental legitimacy. Here's what makes this scandal different from all the other Sussex controversies. This isn't about interviews or family drama or who said what to whom. This is about whether two children have the legal right to carry royal titles and stand in the line of succession. If there's any truth to the surrogacy questions, if there's any arrangement around these births that wasn't disclosed properly, then every title those children carry becomes constitutionally questionable. And that's not drama. That's a genuine crisis for an institution that survived for over 1,000 years. The pattern of secrecy around these children has been consistent from the beginning. Archie's birth announcement came with confusing timelines that didn't quite add up. Hospital locations changed, details shifted, official statements contained information that later seemed inaccurate. Then came Lilibet, born in California with even less transparency. No traditional royal protocols followed at all. Photo releases are so controlled you rarely see the children's faces clearly. Every image feels staged for maximum PR impact rather than genuine family moments. When everything is this managed, this carefully curated, people naturally start questioning what's being hidden. And here's the devastating truth that Harry and Meghan refuse to acknowledge. There's one simple action that could end all of this speculation instantly. One straightforward step that would silence every critic, shut down every question, validate every claim they've made. Transparent documentation, clear evidence, the kind of proof that every other royal family member has provided without hesitation throughout history. But they won't do it. They choose legal threats and calculated silence instead. And that choice speaks volumes about what the truth might actually reveal. Angela Levin warned that if Parliament ever gets forced to step in, the damage won't stop with Harry and Meghan. It could genuinely shake the entire institution. Imagine DNA tests being ordered by courts, medical records subpoenaed under legal authority, royal mystique torn apart under harsh courtroom lighting. The monarchy has survived scandals before, but this would be different. This would be an existential question about the very foundation the institution is built on. And all of it could be avoided if Harry and Meghan simply provided the transparency they demand from everyone else. The media empire they built is already falling apart. Netflix deals aren't delivering, Spotify contracts ended badly, Hollywood doors are quietly closing. Their credibility was hanging by a thread even before Levin's bombshell. Now that thread is pulled so tight it's about to snap completely. Meghan, who branded herself as the modern face of royalty, now looks like the person actively weakening the crown from inside. Harry, who traded his royal duties for California freedom, now appears as a liability to the very institution he was born into. What started as questions about privacy and protocol has evolved into something far more serious. A constitutional crisis brewing in slow motion. The longer they avoid transparency, the more those whispers of illegitimacy harden into widespread public belief. This isn't gossip anymore. This is a genuine threat to monarchical succession, to the orderly transfer of power that kingdoms depend on for stability. One simple test could resolve everything: DNA evidence, birth records, medical documentation. The kind of proof that leaves no room for doubt or speculation. Yet Harry and Meghan act as if providing that evidence would destroy them completely. Maybe that's exactly why they keep running from the truth. Because deep down, they know that exposure might wipe out the last fragments of credibility they're desperately clinging to. And when the noise finally fades, when all the PR spin stops working, one question will remain. If there's nothing to hide, why won't they just prove it?